American pie just ain't attainable, so how can
Beats Planet.
Yeah. What's happening, y'all? What's good? What's good? What the hell? What's happening, y'all? We back at it. We back at it. Chat box is checking up on my musical selection of the evening. Sometimes I just play rap music before I get going. You know what I mean? Rap music, kind of hip hop puts me in a good place. And Brother Bun was talking, wasn't he? Brother Bun was talking, wasn't he? Who give a damn when you can't afford a turkey, a ham, living off of ramen noodles, beef jerky, and spam? What y'all know about Bobby? Woo! All I can see in front of me is up for grabs. Come off your slab. Anyway, today we're doing mock drafts. We ain't doing Voch's mock draft because Voch don't do mock drafts till like later. If later, you know what I mean? Sometimes I choose not to do them because I feel mock drafts suck. They're difficult to get a grasp on, but most importantly, especially at this point in draft season, mock drafts are incredibly wrong. So that's not the case. But we should look at mock drafts sometimes to laugh and make fun of them. Sure, you know, that exists, but I do think mock drafts are important just to know who's at the top of the board, just to kind of get a feel for the vibes. You know what I mean? So I do use mock drafts, regardless of me fussing at folks and, you know, talking about how silly I think their mock drafts are. I think it's silly when you try to get picks correct. But what I think is useful about mock drafts is the fact that, okay, this is what people think about the first 5 offensive linemen, or this is what people feel about where receivers possibly could go. Okay, so let me round up about 7 and see who they got Dallas taking. So that's where mock drafts are kind of interesting. I just hate when people try to get them right, and I hate when people call them wrong, or you know, when a fan look at a mock draft, oh, that'll never happen. That mock draft, that's not realistic. Well, you never know. You never know, because every year something non-realistic happens, and we as draft fans act like that shit don't happen every single year. Every year is something that we never expected to happen. Once upon, Tremaine Edmonds would never go that early. What was the Edmonds brother? The time Pittsburgh drafted the safety in the first round, and I thought he was like a 3rd round guy. That dude, boy, there was no way. Or like Rashad Penny going, or like Lamar Jackson falling late. You know what I mean? So we just don't know, man. We just don't know. Oh, the Bears will never move up one spot to go get Mitch. Never. So that's that. But hey, man, you know, damn, why you got to make it sound like a nerdy white guy? They're mostly nerdy white guys. But hey, it is what it is, though. Somebody say Lieutenant Dan thinks you hate him. Dang it on my nerves, man. tagging them out there. I hate that. Terrell, thank you. Terrell Edmonds, thank you. But yeah, today we're gonna be looking at mocks. So what we're gonna do is not only look at the mock drafts. Let me check my volume. Y'all tell me if my volume's straight. So not only are we gonna look at mock drafts just to kind of see where guys are going, but I do want to get a good feel of like position ranks. You know, what guys are going first at what position, and just kind of differentiating them between the three mocks that we do have. J Rock S drop 5 in the super. He said, "Much love, Voch. Voch the Cowboy Gospel you preach, man. Keep doing what you do. Florida in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you dropping 5 in the super. Use your superpowers, super." I appreciate you, my guy. So let's do this. Let's take Lil Voch off the screen, so I won't slow nothing down. And let's take the draft background off the screen there. And Nick Gashler asked earlier, are we using phones? Maybe. Depends on when we get rid of all this. Depending on when we're done laughing at mocks is when we'll see about the phones or whatever. But I'm gonna be real heavy in the chat box today, so we'll see. We'll see. Anyone familiar with the Scouting Academy sent you a message asking about it, Voch? Where you send me a message at? I don't know. I've heard of it. My man Deuce is a part of the Scouting Academy, I think. Goofy ass Mox. I think he's a part of it. But it ain't never been something that Voch was into. Voch, Voch really didn't want to get into we're a prestigious academy of talent evaluators and talent scouts and hurrah. I'm like, yeah, that ain't me, man. That ain't me, man. I'm very solo, man. I'm solo dolo. You know what I mean? My screen looks good. Everything's kosher. All right, let me make sure my chat box is visible. Let me take a sip of water before I go. I'll tell you this, Andrew Thomas is overhated in a lot of mocks. I tell you what, man. And I just think that people aren't comfortable evaluating offensive linemen yet. Let me explain. Andrew Thomas is really good, but when you watch other offensive linemen that you might like more than Andrew Thomas, that doesn't mean Andrew Thomas is bad. That just means we got a good crop of top 3 or so offensive tackles. You know what I mean? I know sometimes we want to add by subtracting. I know sometimes we want to do that, but that ain't always the case. Andrew Thomas is fantastic. Just like Jedrick Wills is fantastic. Just like Mekhi Becton is fantastic. And we'll talk about it when we get there, because I saw some goofy ass stuff. In some of these mocks. Before we get started, do y'all think Joe Burrow is not gonna be the first overall pick? Y'all think he's gonna pull a Eli Manning and take Carson's advice and take that other 70-year-old dude that was drafted to the Bengals advice and try to pull some leverage? I like how teams or how these pundits act like the player don't have leverage. We see every single year they be like the player don't have leverage, and every time we prove that the player got leverage, whether it be contract talks, whether it be boom boom, whatever it is. But shouts out to my man Sadie Fresh. He's a Vikings fan. He's a part of a big Vikings conspiracy. The fact that like that one time when Teddy Bridgewater was coming out of Louisville and he was like the top ranked quarterback coming out of Louisville that year, and he had a terrible pro day. Like he threw the ball excellently the whole process, but out of nowhere his pro day was terrible to make him drop in the draft to make him land in Minnesota. I think that's a real thing. I don't know, but yeah, man, I think Joe's gonna be in Cincinnati. Joe may not be happy in Cincinnati, but Cincinnati might do Cincinnati things. I don't know, but hey, Joe's number 1, Chase number 2. At some point, we're gonna talk about, in case Joe doesn't go number 1, what happens with the rest of the draft. I do think that's a real concern. Like if we find ourselves in a situation where Joe's not going number 1. Like, what if somebody goes up to number 1, but they have Tua ranked over Joe? Now the Redskins are on the clock. Pardon me, Washington is on the clock with Joe Burrow on the board, with Dwayne Haskins on the roster. Now what? You know what I mean? Like some like the best part about draft is the parity or potential parity or the dominoes that could fall. The dominoes that could fall in and out of place with certain moves changing, right? Like if Joe Burrow is the number 1 overall pick, then Chase Young probably goes 2. But if Tua is number 1, then a whole bunch of shit changes. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be very fun if Joe Burrow ended up not going number 1. Like if some chaotic shit happened. Like if a gas mask video came out. If he was in the car with Greg Little, hey, if Joe Burrow was in the car with Greg Little, and they found Joe Burrow fingerprints on some of the weed, not on 157 pounds on the weed, but like just a couple ounces. If they just found Joe Burrow fingerprints on a handful of ounces, how much do that affect the draft? Oh my God, let's move on. I ain't want to stay here too long. I think Derek Brown at number 3 is pretty egregious, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Jedrick Wills. Okay, cool. So let me write this down because this is some of my notes that I've been wanting to look at. Wills is the first offensive lineman off this board. All right, cool. Tua at 5, Justin Herbert. Now I do anticipate somebody trying to jump in front to try to get their quarterback or whatever. So I think there will be movement at some point or whatever, but we just looking at not having any movement. I heard Simmons could be a big pick at 4. If the Giants decide to go Isaiah Simmons, I think that'll be bad for both parties, because I said this a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it was one of the more brilliant draft analysis that I've ever made or whatever. I think Isaiah Simmons is best when your defense is good already. You know what I mean? Like if Isaiah had to be a full-time Mike for you or a full-time strong safety for you or a full-time pass rush for you, you're not using him properly. You can't put him at Mike and then move him somewhere else, and now your team is bad at Mike because he's not there. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't want to see him on the Giants to where of course, the Giants need all the help on defense that they can. I just don't think that's a good place for Isaiah Simmons. I just don't think that's kosher for my guy there. Kinlaw at 7, which is interesting. I heard that the combine is going to be big for Kinlaw because people been looking at his knees, and they say he might be there at 17, so just Cowboy beware. Isaiah Simmons is going to be 8. That's interesting. Mekhi Becton early is 9. Wirfs, which is interesting, right? Let me write this down because I see Wirfs, and it's funny because it's the Browns pick or whatever, but I'm not coming out with my rankings just yet, but I have Andrew Thomas as a higher graded player than Wirfs. I think Wirfs is a guard. That's just my own thoughts, though. But I have Thomas graded higher than Wirfs. But it's interesting that they got Wirfs here at 10. Hold on. How the hell Jeffrey Okudah get to 11? Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. So they passed on Okudah to get Brown and Wills. Quarterback things don't matter. And Kinlaw and Simmons and Becton before Wirfs. Well, shit, good for the Jets then. Good for the Jets. I guess so. Jerry Jeudy at 12. That was a scenario to where I thought the Cowboys could end up with Jerry Jeudy. And I do feel that way. It's just going to take a little bit of finagling to happen, but Chason at 14. Interesting. I want to see where they got Chason at. So I'm going to write that down too. Chason is like 14th. I need to know that. And I also need to keep tabs on how many receivers go in the top 15. Anyway, Terrell Lewis is really early for 16. I know Lieutenant Dan is going to hate that one. It's interesting, right? Like, look at what they got, the prospect ranks or whatever. It's really out of place to me. Like, look at this. Like, first and first. Sixth and first. Like, why don't you just have Detroit taking the third best player? Well, that'll be Tua for you. Or the next player that's not a quarterback. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Dan should hate that pick. Dan should hate Terrell Lewis at 16. But Hey man, that may be a Falcon thing. I don't know. Xavier McKinney at 17. Not a fan there. I think Xavier McKinney's the guy that can go later, but whatever. I also want to know where Epinesa is going, so let me write that down. Epinesa at 18. Okay. Henderson, Blacklock. That's early for Blacklock, but that's my opinion. T. Higgins, Grandopa at 23. I was thinking about too. What's your boy name from Penn State? Matos, right? Gross Matos. I was thinking about him, right? You want to know a good description of what I think Matos might end up being? In the chat box, tell me if I'm bugging. Matos could be a guy. He's like one of those guys that's terrible on 31 teams, but he go to the Patriots and lead the league in sacks. Matos remind me of one of them guys. Tell me if I'm bugging. Tell me if I'm bugging. This is a good draft for the Saints to need wide receiver, by the way. And there's Josh Jones at 26. I would like to know where Josh Jones is going. So, because I know there are some people that are pretty high on Josh Jones because I keep tabs on my comment section. I know a lot of y'all don't think that. A lot of y'all think I don't be. Now, how the hell Andrew Thomas gets to 25? I need to write that down too. This is why mocks are ignorant, but we need them for the vibes, people. We need them for the vibes. Andrew Thomas at 25 and Josh Jones at 26 is pretty interesting. But what was I saying though, bro? That just hurt my heart. Yeah, y'all think I don't be paying attention to the comment section or whatever. Time out. But I be reading y'all comments. So let me get this straight, bro. Andrew Thomas is your second ranked tackle, offensive lineman, and Josh Jones is your fifth. Let me scroll, man, because this mock draft ain't making sense to me, man. Wills is your first. Let me come back. Becton is your fourth. I would love to know the logic here. I would consider drafting Jeffrey Okudah here. Tough shit. But they have to find a left tackle to be able to move Cam Robinson inside. Hey, chat box, how many of y'all remember me saying Cam Robinson going to be a guard? Who remember that? Who remember that? Just tell me in the chat box if you remember. And Wirfs is your third ranked offensive lineman. So why is your second ranked offensive lineman at 25? See, that's why. That's what I'm saying. I hate mock drafts. He would be an immediate starter on the left side for a team that has major offensive line issues. Josh Jones ain't great, man. Josh Jones ain't great. Gross Matos, I guess they're anticipating the Clowney thing. The 50-minute film session on Cam Robinson was a turning point, man. Nick, they wasn't outside, Nick. Nick, they wasn't outside, bro. They wasn't outside, man. Boy, that 50-minute Cam Robinson film session was different. I was on him, boy. I was in my prime then, Nick. Now I'm just frustrated. Man, Trevon Diggs is not a first-round pick to me, but whatever. First linebacker off the board, pardon me, because I don't consider Isaiah Simmons to be a linebacker. I just think he's a defender. But the first non-Isaiah Simmons linebacker is Kenneth Murray. I think that might be Patrick Queen before the day is over with, but whatever. Brandon Ayuk. I like Ayuk. And I haven't seen Bryce Hall, and Marlon Davidson is at 32. Okay, so cool. That was quasi-goofy. That was an interesting start for the goofiness. Chat box, how y'all feel about how goofy that mock was? With Andrew Thomas at 25. How y'all feel about that one? Oh, boy. What's the second one I got? Charlie Cashley? Oh, y'all know I hate Charlie Cashley. Y'all know Charlie Cashley on some bullshit. Bryce Hall is a reach at 31. I haven't watched cornerbacks yet. I think that's my next position group to watch. Pardon me. I need to get an idea of these corners before the combine. So I think I know a lot of the receivers. I got like 25 receivers on my list or whatever, but I need to mute this site. I don't need your commentary, buddy. But yeah, I just need to know these guys. I need to know them before the combine happens, so I can know them with better interest when the combine happens. Okay. All right, here we go. Charlie had Lamar a receiver. Well, Charlie's ignorant. Chat box, how many of y'all remember me being pro Lamar Jackson when it wasn't cool to be pro Lamar Jackson? Who remember that? Who remember that? Chat box, where y'all at? Chat box, who was outside with me when I was pro Lamar Jackson? Being pro Lamar Jackson wasn't cool. Whatever. I ain't gotta pat myself on the back. Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, which makes sense. So Mekhi Becton is first now. Let me put that in my notes here. Last one, Wills was first. And Casserly has Becton first on his mock, which is interesting. I ain't gonna say nothing though. Time out. I got an email. Special thanks for the shout out you gave my wife a few weeks back in regards to her being cancer free. You're the reason why I remain a logical. Hold on, let me open this up. Hold on, let me get it together. You're the reason why I remain a logical, rational Cowboy fan. Peace, my dudes. Shouts out to Mark Hardison, man. Drop 2 on the PayPal. Salute to you, my guy. Salute to you, my guy. Appreciate you. Derek Brown at 7, Kinlaw at 8. Brown at 7 makes a little bit of sense. I'd imagine Kinlaw would be like a early teen pick. But if you want Kinlaw at 8, I mean I won't hate you. Simmons at 9, Jedrick Wills at 10. Now that's interesting. Where did the last mock have the next offensive lineman at? I think the last mock had the next offensive lineman. Yeah. So the last mock had the next offensive lineman in Jacksonville to bump Cam Robinson inside, but Jacksonville took Isaiah Simmons, which makes sense here. Wills at 10 and Thomas at 11. So cool. So look, Thomas went from 25 to 11, and Wills went from 4 to 10. So we're not seeing too much discrepancy in Wills. It seems like everybody is agreeing that Jerry Jeudy is possibly going to be a Raider. Going down that Amari Cooper train. I see what you're doing there. And it seems like CeeDee Lamb's going right after Jerry Jeudy in these conversations. So Tristan Wirfs, who I think is a guard, but hey, put him at guard, see what happens. And Henry Ruggs seems to be a recurring pick at in Denver. Nick Gashler, tell me how you feel about that. Epinesa at 16 and Xavier McKinney again. But whatever. Run on cornerback, CJ Henderson, Trevon Diggs, Christian Fulton. Diggs shouldn't be going in front of Henderson, but I'm going to chill. Justin Jefferson in Philly. Interesting. T. Higgins going after Justin Jefferson, which is interesting. Kayvon Chason at 23. Chenault seems to be a common occurrence here. Hey, chat box, y'all want to know something funny? Tell me if I'm bugging. The Saints already got a receiver that's like Laviska Shenault. His name is Taysom Hill. So this is interesting, right? In Charlie Casserly's mock, he also has offensive tackle going to Minnesota. However, he has a much worse offensive tackle going to Minnesota than Austin Jackson. I think Austin Jackson's a bad football player. I'm not a fan. But hey man, last time y'all had Andrew Thomas, which would be great for you, but hey, do y'all think, player? Do y'all think? I ain't gonna hate you. Gross Matos is a common theme here in Seattle. I see what you're doing. Jonathan Taylor at 29. Ugh. All right, Charlie. Roquan Davis at 30. Ugh. Damon Arnett at 31. AJ Terrell at 32. I don't mind AJ Terrell at 32 from Clemson. I don't mind Terrell. But boy, 29 to 31. Sheesh, Charlie, what the hell? what the hell's going on with you, Charlie? Anyway, so we've had discrepancy with the first tackle taken. Last draft it was Wills. This draft it was Becton. Becton was taken fourth overall last time. He was taken like ninth or something. I can't remember. But Wills didn't move very much. Wills only went from 4 to 10. And it's interesting that Josh Jones wasn't in this mock, I don't think. Let me see. Let me just scroll back one more time. Yeah, Josh Jones wasn't even in this first round, but instead Austin Jackson was there, which is probably worse. Like, I don't like Josh Jones as a first round pick, but I like Josh Jones more of a first round pick than Austin Jackson from USC. So that's problematic there. And we had some big discrepancy going from Andrew Thomas at 25 to Andrew Thomas at 11 overall. So interesting. Let's pull up the next one. This is Walter Football, man, and I have a little more respect for Walter Football than I do Charlie Casserly. Charlie just kind of make my head hurt a little bit. And notice we're not finna do Mayock and them guys. I mean, not Mayock. What's your boy name? Damn. What's the one name that we always make fun of every year? Not Mayock, but your boy with the glasses and the big nose. Kiper, yeah, Kiper. Thank you, Mel Kiper, lame. Yeah, Mel Kiper. I hate Mel Kiper, man. Mel Kiper's annoying, and his voice, Mel Kiper's voice, sound like somebody's in his house that he's trying to ask to leave, but he don't want them to be there, but he's shy about asking them to go. Like that's what Mel Kiper's voice sounds like. Well, I don't know why you're here in the first place. I would like for you to leave. Don't go fast. Boy, Walter Football trying to get some ad revenue on their website, ain't you? I ain't mad at y'all. Let me close all this shit. Close all this shit down. God damn. I can't even close your ads, all this shit trying to load up, man. Anyway. Tom McShay whack too, but Mel Kiper's the worst. All right, Joe Burrow first, cool. This is a trade. Okay, so a trade happened here, so sure. So let's see what happens in a domino effect if a trade happens. So Tua at 2 and Chase would go 3 to Detroit, which makes sense. And Jedrick Wills is the first offensive lineman. He's back again. So I think that that for the most part the consensus would be Jedrick Wills might be number 1. I don't know yet. I'll let y'all know soon. And Jeffrey Okudah ends up going to Washington. Interesting. Herbert goes to L.A. Okay. Derek Brown goes to Carolina. Makes sense to me. Okay. Andrew Thomas. Let me write that down. Andrew Thomas has gone from 25 to 11 to 8. Good for you. Jacksonville Jaguars have Isaiah Simmons at number 9, which seems to be a common occurrence. So this is the third different offensive lineman for the Browns here. They've gone from Wirfs to Wills, and now they have Becton at the 10th overall pick. I think we're gonna do the second round too. So let's do the second round. See what happens here. We're gonna do that. Y'all gonna do that. Tristan Wirfs at number 11. Jerry Jeudy at 12 again. This is interesting. This is something different that I haven't seen. We got Kinlaw going to the Colts. Interesting. And McKinney with Tampa Bay. Boy, they got that Ruggs at Denver again. Nick Gash, how you feel about Ruggs in Denver, man? God. Chason in Atlanta. Cool. Let's open up your second page. And then I think I'll take some phone calls. I'll probably take some phone calls. Let me set my phones up real quick. Make sure my volume's down. And I'll set the phones up just in case anybody want to get to the phones. Bandwidth. See, that's why you got all them ads on your shit. All right. Cowboys get Grant Delpit. Well, I'd rather Delpit than McKinney, but all right then. Hey, y'all, buy the book, A Safety and a Field Goal. Walter Football's top 5. In case y'all didn't see it, DeAndre Swift at Miami. I like DeAndre Swift. I think he's the best running back in his class, but is he a first round pick? I'm not sure. Okay, Raiders got Murray. Henderson in the 20s seems to be a common theme. CeeDee Lamb has fallen all the way to the Eagles, which is the first time I've seen that. That's the first time I've seen that. So they got Judy, Ruggs, then Lamb. Interesting. Rager is in his first round to Buffalo. Interesting. Jake from State Farm is in New England. Maybe we need to reevaluate Jake Fromm. If Jake Fromm end up in New England, they see something we don't. LaVisca Chenault in New Orleans seems to make sense. Well, now I can't scroll, so let me give my computer some time to load this 24 emergency room ad up. So let's go back because I scrolled too far. Okay. I hate this. The Vikings drafting Madubuike at 25. I know there's a Viking fan in my chat box right now that hasn't liked any of the picks that the Vikings had so far. Tell me how you feel, Viking fan. Austin Jackson at 26. I can't stand it. He's Austin Jackson. He's not good. Shane Lemieux. First time we've seen Shane Lemieux here in the first round. Let me set my phone up. Hey, go ahead and call into the show if you want to get in line there. My number is active. I'm just about to hit all the buttons here. Attendees, and let me hit that button and record. All right, there y'all go. If y'all want to call into the show, the phone is active. The number is in the description, and it might be on the screen. The number's on the screen. There you go. 515-606-5187. Access code 309-104. Yeah, it's in the description. You can't miss it. I promise you. I promise you can't miss the number. Let's get back to the mock draft though. Gross Matos to the Ravens. Coach, what you think about that? What you think about that, Coach? You want to line Epinesa up on the other side of Harold Landry? I'm with that. Justin Jefferson to Green Bay, which I think is a better pick than Ayuk to Green Bay. That mean, get y'all podcast off my god. I can't wait to get off this website. Tyler Badass, center from Wisconsin. I think Badass might be the consensus first center coming off the board, I believe, maybe. I don't know. I've just been seeing him as the first center. I think it's him and Cushenberry are probably going to be the one kid, Diaz. I think they're in the conversation for center, but I'm not mad at Badass or Cushenberry. And T. Higgins at 32. T. Higgins in damn Kansas City sucks, my guy. I would hate that. Oh, my God. I think Kansas City should be building defense anyway, but damn, you just add T. Higgins to Kansas City. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. You ain't got to play defense. Let's see. Solomon Kindley from Georgia. Georgia got 3 offensive linemen coming out this year, huh? They'll show getting their ass whooped a couple times. Jordan Love in Indy. Blacklock at 35. I don't hate it. Igbenogany. Noah Igbenogany to the Giants. They can use some cornerback help. J.K. Dobbins is the second running back off the board to go to the Chargers. Interesting. Didn't Melvin Gordon just get paid? No, Melvin didn't get paid. Yeah, that was good by the Chargers. Good move by the Chargers. Good move. There you go. Jacob Eason of Carolina. Interesting. Oh my God. Well, she's pretty. All right. Redskins, Cole. Oh yeah, I'm tight ends. Haven't watched tight. She pretty too. Haven't watched tight ends yet. Roquan to Arizona. Gabriel Davis. That's Odell little cousin. And Josh Jones, where he's supposed to be at 42. I'm with that. I don't hate that at all. Voch, you had to reboot your computer after that. I know, man. All this shit popping up on my screen. Dancer to the Colts, and with that, Jonathan Taylor makes a little more sense at 45. One mock he was at like first or whatever. This is where Trevon Diggs should go. Shouts out to Walter Football. This is where Diggs probably going to end up going. Oh, Trevon Diggs will never make it. All right. Patrick Queen, that's a really good pick to the Falcons. I think the Falcons draft a linebacker in the second round every year. I could be wrong there. I like Zach Moss. I feel like he's gone before Zach Moss coming off the board before DeAndre Swift. I don't know. Bradley and I at 49. That's a good pick for Pittsburgh, dog. I ain't going to lie to you. Albert O at 50. Jeff Gladney at 51. So we got Delpit in the first round and Gladney in the second. No D-line, huh? Yeah, I know. All right. Kyle Duggar in Miami. Kyle Duggar ain't doing bad. I mean, Miami ain't doing bad, except drafting a running back in the first round. I'm not a fan of that. Prince Tega Winogu. I don't hate it. Kenny Willick is at 58. Terrence Steele should not be at 59. Get Terrence Steele up out of here. I love KJ Hamler. Do you know how fast Baltimore would be if they added KJ Hamler? My goodness. Ayuk to Tennessee, Jordan Brooks, that's the other Georgia kid, Julian Okwara. Julian fell to 64. That's interesting. He fell to Seattle. Let's look at round 3. I ain't doing nothing else. Then we're going to get into the phones after round 3. Let's go ahead and check this out. See what happens here. Zach Bond at 65. I like Zach Bond. Now, see, this is everybody. Pay attention. Where my notes at? I didn't write the shit down. Terrell Lewis was drafted by Atlanta in the first round in the other mock. He's 66 here, which makes a little bit of sense. Damn. Winfield at 67 is fantastic, man. Cushenberry at 68 is fantastic value. Ashton Davis and Troy Dye is fantastic value. I remember Michigan kid from the Senior Bowl. AJ Terrell at 72 is fantastic value. Terrell was at 72. He's 72 in this mock, but he was at the end of the first round in the other mock. So just keep that in mind. Kalike Hudson at 73. I like that pick. Stenberg cool, but he got beat up on the Senior Bowl. I know he could be better than that. Bryce Hall was a first round pick. So I think another thing that we got to notice is that I don't think anybody has a good grasp on where to rank these corners. Bryce Hall was first round corner in some other draft. In the second mock draft we did, he was first round corner. Look at him at 76. Jordan Elliott at 77. Nick Coe at 78. I like both of those right there. Curtis Weaver at 79. Some people think that Curtis Weaver's a late first round pick. Interesting. He ain't even in this draft. Levi Onwuzurike. Yeah, he's not in this draft because I was a big ass fan of his, but then I realized he wasn't in the draft. Christian Fulton at 81. Talk your shit. Nobody knows where these cornerbacks is going. Thaddeus Moss at 82 makes me sick. We still haven't addressed defensive tackle in Dallas, according to these mocks here. Darnay Holmes, cool. Connecticut kid that got beat up in the Senior Bowl. Lynn Bowden. Everybody wants to know where Lynn Bowden's going to go. I think he's going to be a good utility player. So check him out there at 85 in Philly. Eno Benjamin. Cool. Gandy Golden. I know of Gandy Golden. Anthony should probably fall a little bit less than this. KJ Hill, solid, but I don't think the Ravens would draft 3 fucking receivers in a row. I don't think the Ravens would do that. I know Jared Pinkney. I've actually seen footage of him. And I think Troy Pryor was a Senior Bowl guy, if I'm not mistaken. Cam Akers at the end of the third round is how the hell do you let Kansas City get Cam Akers and T. Higgins in this draft? Walter Football, a Kansas City fan, man. That's all it is. You know how nasty Kansas City would be if they had Cam Akers and T. Higgins? I'd cry. Oh shit. You know, we often say that that this class ain't got a lot of depth, and I do think that's true. I think the depth is with the skill players. I think it's a lot of corners, receivers, and running backs that's gonna be deep here. And you know, we not talking about Kendrick Rogers. I was a big ass fan of Kendrick Rogers. Y'all remember the LSU versus Texas A&M game, the seventh overtime game. Not this year, but the year before that. Apparently Kendrick Rogers was hurt this year, but Kendrick took that game over, and I haven't heard from him since. I guess he was injured this whole time. I should do my research on Kendrick Rogers, checking up him, just to check back in with him. J.R. Reed, I know of him. Colin Johnson, sure, Senior Bowl guy. I'm not a fan, but you know, if you hear at this point, if you're in the fourth round, I mean, I understand. Tyler Johnson, I understand. Brian Edwards in the fourth round is sick. Neville Gallimore in the fourth round is sick. Michael Pittman in the fourth round is sick. Chase Claypool is cool. I like this. Give me Van. I just smacked my notepad on the table. Give me Van Jefferson in the fourth round. I take that. Give me that. I'll take that. Jalen Hurts probably shouldn't be drafted in the fourth, though. He probably shouldn't be drafted in the fourth. Josh Uche at 118. Interesting. And there's your other boy, Ruiz, the other center. So keep eyes on him. Courtney Davis, Senior Bowl guy. I think Guidry's a Senior Bowl guy too. LaMichael Pirine, another Senior Bowl guy. He had a pretty good game too. Steven Montez, a terrible Senior Bowl guy, shouldn't be drafted here. Nick Harris was getting his ass whooped that same. How in the blue fuck, I'll say it, did Marlon Davidson fall to 126? I'm sorry? I beg your pardon? Excuse me? Oh, God. Walter Football, what are you doing, buddy? DJ Khaled at 128. Walter Football, what's the vibes, my guy? Marlon Davis in the fourth round to you? Or you just like forgot to add him and you just kind of slid him in there? My God. I kind of don't want to look at the fifth round. I kind of just want to leave this shit alone. But I'm intrigued now. I'm all in. I'm all in. People in my chat box saying Green Bay needs him. I feel you, but like Green Bay ain't gonna get him in the fourth round. Green Bay gonna have to get his ass earlier. That is insane, my guy. Let me wipe my glasses off. Are Walter Football even aware of Nitane Mutai? Makes me sick. Well, I wouldn't draft him this early neither. We talking about the guard from Fresno State, Nitane Mutai. He's PFF's guard number 1. I think PFF is ignorant, but I don't think Mutai is a good player at all. But that's just my thoughts there. Hey, BioLife, it all adds up. It adds up, I mean. Go check out the Mason Patriots. That's why this shit lagging. Okay, Durant at 129. Trey Adams at 130. He was supposed to be in the Senior Bowl. I ain't see nothing of him. Maybe he got hurt. Haven't seen Lefty Fotu yet. Calvin Throckmorton, interesting. Marquez Callaway, I know he has a fan base that's very annoying. Okay. I still got some research to do. I tell you what, I got a lot of research to do, but for it to be February, it's incredibly early for me. It's really early for me to know this many people in February. So I think I deserve a round of applause, man. I think I deserve a hand. And we've gone through this whole draft, and Dallas has not drafted a defensive tackle in this draft. I'm befuddled. Jabari Zuniga, that's gonna make a lot of white people uncomfortable to say, but they just got to drag that I, and they'll be okay. Zuniga, AJ Dillon to the tie. Yeah, I'm done, man. I'm out of here, bro. Let me get this goofy ass mocks. Let me get these goofy little mocks off of my screen, dog. And let's see, window capture. We're gonna get into the phone. Let's put a little Voch back up there. Let's put the slideshow back up there. What else I got? All my other links and my displays and da 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 boom boom. All right, cool. We good. We good. Number to call into the show is 515-606-5187, access code 309-104 if you want to get in touch with the show. Hey man, tell me what y'all think about these mocks, and we're gonna do some goofy Q&A shit while we waiting. What's my time? We have 51 minutes. That's a good time, man. That's a good time. So let's get into it. Let me cut my volume back up. Tony, what up, man?
What's up, Voch?
Man, what you think about these mock drafts, player?
I couldn't believe my eyes, man.
You better believe it.
When I heard, you was scrolling down Walter Football, and I was like, where Marlon Davidson at? I was like, he must have went. He must have went. 4th round?
That's crazy.
What?
Unless Marlon Davidson is gun under the sea guy, and we just don't know it yet.
Yeah. I find it because I ain't been looking at these drafts for a while.
Right.
Because they've been getting kind of stupid.
Because they stupid.
I used to peek in every once in a while to find out who making noise in the NFL circles right now.
Mm-hmm.
I find it odd. First of all, I ain't never seen no tight end really first or second round in most of these drafts. And it surprised me when I saw they had running backs in the first round, and neither of them were DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, they had your boy Jonathan Taylor in one of them, and I was befuddled. He went to Miami.
Yeah, man, that is surprising. A lot of people really, I'm starting to see a lot of Tristan Wirfs to Cleveland, and a whole lot of Justin Herbert to the Chargers. That's like, I guess that's the big one.
I don't think Wirfs is like Wirfs is cool, but like I think he a guard. I don't think he's one of the best. I think he's like, I think the other 3 guys are the top 3 guys in that conversation. I don't know.
So here's what I've been hearing about it. So like for months, I've been checking out my drafts for a while, and for a while, Andrew Thomas was like the consensus number 1 tackle, right? He was like top 5.
Once upon a time.
And
sure.
all of a sudden,
Yeah, go ahead.
So then one day, Wirfs just shoot up the boards, and he become like the new top 5 tackle. And then all of a sudden, here come Becton, and all of a sudden, Thomas just started slowly falling down the draft boards.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn.
Sure.
One thing I was really surprised of, McKinney before Delpit. Now that's shocking.
That's been happening a lot, sure. And I don't know why we're valuing strong safeties more than free safeties now. I don't know why that's a thing, but it seems to be a thing.
Because, when I used to look at them before, they used to always have Delpit, like, top 15.
Sure.
They used to always have Delpit before McKinney. Matabuike in the first round.
That's sick. That was sick.
Derek Brown at number 3, man. I see Derek Brown at number 3. I'm going to turn on my TV.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Because we need parity to make this thing happen.
But that don't make no sense.
Who your team, Tony?
The Lions.
Oh, that's why. You know what? As a
yeah.
Lions fan, if you end up getting Derek Brown when you could have Isaiah or Jeffrey Okudah, then that would make sense for you to be pissed off, sir. I agree.
Very upsetting.
I agree.
Diggs in the first round ain't surprising to me. I don't like him in the first round, but it ain't surprising.
Who's that? Who's that now?
Diggs in the first round ain't surprising to me. I don't like him in the first round, but like it ain't surprising.
Yeah, Diggs in the first round corner to me, but I saw in all these mocks or whatever, one of the 3 trends that I did notice is that I don't think anybody has a solid rankings for these cornerbacks yet. I think they got Jeffrey at 1. And then everybody else I don't think they know who's better, and they don't know which round either of these guys go in. I think C.J. Henderson from Florida is a pretty much consensus second guy, but everybody else was pretty much all over the place.
Yeah, because for a while it was pretty much Okudah, Fulton. Then I guess at some point Henderson jumped in at number 2. Mm-hmm. But I just figured Fulton would drop to like number 3, not Diggs over Fulton. That's kind of crazy. And Chase Song, he going a lot higher than I expected.
Who you say? Chase on?
Yeah.
Chase, that like there is this notion that because he's a pass rusher or like a very edgy, very bendy, twitchy pass rusher that he'll probably go a little higher. But it's been interesting to see how he's changed or whatever, because he's gone from like top 10 or so, and he's ended up in the 20s at some point. But now he's back up in the 14s and 15s or whatever. So I have been saying that too. Absolutely, sure.
Yeah. Then there's Josh Jones is a weird one. I thought I would see a lot more Josh Jones in the first round, to be honest.
Well, Josh Jones is not good to me. He ain't the best to me. And if he's like a late first round pick, I'll take that. But I think that's another situation where like position value is a real thing, to where people really need offensive linemen. So Josh Jones could be a second round guy, but he'll get bumped up to a first round guy. Austin Jackson should be the exception to that, though. He's bad, but he shouldn't be a first round guy at all. Like, he should go in the third where he belongs, but that ain't my business.
I know the first draft. I don't know where you got it from, but I could clearly see that draft is just based on, well, we're just gonna go with the most talented player available. If Becton and Wills and Wirfs going, and then Thomas just draw down the board, because clearly that board is all about, well, he's more talented than him. But yeah, running backs in the first. I've never seen running backs in the first, because running backs have been like everybody's just considered like running backs in the second and later was like the time to get the running backs.
I don't think there's any first round running backs this year, or like first round talent. Somebody could take them though, but if anybody does go, it should be Swift from Georgia. But you know how that go, man. It just depends.
Yeah. Kenneth Murray as the second linebacker. I've actually seen that a lot.
Sure.
A lot of people really think that Kenneth Murray is the second linebacker.
Sure. I mean, I don't hate it. I personally might like Queen a little better. I haven't done the full blown research to say that. So like, if it's not in the video, it ain't final. But I thought that every time I would see Murray, I would see Queen. But there seems to be a consensus that Murray's better than Queen. So, maybe I'm wrong there. Who knows?
Ruggs, they got Ruggs going to Denver a lot.
Sure.
They really think Ruggs going to Denver. People really think Judy going before what's his name, Lamb now.
Well, Judy's better than CeeDee Lamb, so he should go better. He should go higher than CeeDee Lamb.
I know that, but a lot of people really think that Lamb is a lot more talented. So for a while, I had been seeing people think Lamb was going like top 10, and then Judy was going outside the top 10.
Hey man, Judy better not make it to 17. I tell you that much, man. He better not make it to 17.
He might. Isaiah Simmons really going high in these drafts.
Sure.
I've seen a lot of him to like the Giants and the Raiders, but these drafts, Austin Jackson, I don't know what draft he should be a first round.
He shouldn't.
Lineman.
He shouldn't.
You know what? Actually, I like that. So now the good prospects gonna stay on the board.
Yeah, but the second round gonna get mixed up anyway. The first round is the one where you really want people to fall or whatever. Second round, the gloves just kind of come off and you just kind of pick where you want to pick at. But like I said, man, the draft is unpredictable and we never know what's gonna happen, man. Greedy Williams was a second round pick last year, so who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Raekwon Davis in the first round. Now that was surprising, really surprising.
Let him fly, as long as it ain't my team.
Man, I don't know who would take Raekwon Davis in the first round.
As long as it ain't my team. That's all you got? You good?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, Tom, man. You always welcome to call in. Do your research on cornerbacks, because when we do this show again Tuesday, that's what we're going to be talking about. So, salute to you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. All right. So, if y'all want to call into the show, the numbers on the screen is in the description. If y'all want to do that, and take a sip of water. Till then, I'm about to interact with the chat box for a little bit. See what y'all talking about. If y'all ain't talking about nothing, go FaceTime my girl and play video games. What y'all talking about? What y'all got? What y'all got, chat box? What y'all got? What y'all got? Raekwon Davis ain't that damn bad. I agree, but he's not a first round pick. So what you want me to say? What you want me to say? Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. What you want, to say. Voch, how high would you take Uche? I don't know, my guy. Too soon. Let me figure out all the other players in the draft, and I'll let you know. Terrell Lewis, he sucks. That's rough. Thaddeus Moss, he sucks. Hey, that's rough. I just don't want to draft a tight end this year. I just don't need tight ends in my life. I ain't saying Thad is bad. Brandon from Franklin Football. Hello, sir.
What's going on, Voch? How you living?
Everything's everything, my guy. Doski Woski, Time out. Stephen Benzie just dropped 10 in my super chat, so let me pause you for a second. Hey, Voch, here's some bread, and also let me know you want to talk about tight ends because I got a lot to say. Appreciate you, Stephen Benzie, for the dime that you dropped in the super chat. I have a disdain for tight ends unless they're really good. But, hey, since you called for them, we doing cornerbacks Tuesday, so let's do tight ends Thursday. Also, I had a PayPal be dropped. Hold on, y'all don't go nowhere now. Hold on, let me get it together. Hold on, don't go nowhere now. Wait a minute. You trying to beat the mind as deep as mine? Terry Rooney dropped 5 in the PayPal. Appreciate y'all. Salute to you. Okay, now Brandon from Franklin Football. Go ahead, my good sir.
So, we talking draft, but
yes,
I'm a Cowboys fan first.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
If you had to pick a position
yes, sir,
to pay the least amount of attention to, which position would you be comfortable doing that with?
To pay the least amount of attention?
Yeah.
Tight ends.
Tight ends?
Yes.
What are you doing with it? Are you going after, used goods like Jordan Reed or an expensive guy like Eric Ebron? What are you doing for that?
I'm just going to run Blake Jarwin. I think
Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz?
I think Blake Jarwin is fine. Yeah, absolutely.
I want to agree, but
let me ask you this.
I don't know how.
Let me ask you this. If you could only allocate a certain amount of resources across the board, would you feel like tight end is a priority amongst defensive tackle or cornerback or safety? If it was in that group, would you consider it a priority?
No.
Because the Cowboys had the number one offense with Jason Witten, and I think Blake can be better than him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I feel you.
So
because Blake got 28% of the snaps, I think it was.
Right. So I feel like tight end is like a luxury pick. So I feel like if we just start Blake the whole time, we improve there, and I'm fine with that. But I'm trying to build the defense, which will make the offense even more better. So that's just my own thoughts, though. That's just my own opinion.
I agree with you.
Okay.
But on the flip side, I feel like it's too many potential holes in the secondary to be able to ignore it in at least 2 picks of the first 3 rounds. Because, yes, we may bring back Byron and Heath, and, next year we got to worry about Jordan Lewis and Cheeto. It's a lot of holes now and holes next year that we have to worry about.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree.
Let's say,
and that's exactly why I'm not doing that with tight end, but go ahead.
Who's your number one safety?
Hey man, don't be asking me personal questions like that, man. It's February, dog. Come on, son. What are you doing? Come on, man.
But I say that I ask that to say this: if my number one safety, maybe number 2, isn't on the board at 17,
sure,
I'm hard pressed to not just get 2 corners and then trying to go get a safety, out in the free market.
Well, my notion on safeties, and you probably should have been listening to the Voch and Foots Cowboys draft show when we talked about this. If I'm not,
I was there.
Okay, cool. Well. If I ain't getting a safety in the first round, I'm not getting one. I would rather just keep the guys that I have, opposed to, when you building a roster, I call it limiting redundancies. You know what I mean? And I don't want to. I don't want a player that's going to be just as good as what I got. I would like to upgrade somewhere. So if I'm not getting a safety that's an upgrade, I'm not getting a safety. I'm just going to go get some D linemen, because the only tackles I got on my roster right now is Tristan and Antoine Wood. So,
I ain't going to lie to you. The way that things are looking, because I kind of want to fill the hole that Sean Lee may leave.
Like a backup
defensive
linebacker?
tackle may be low on my list. Of need. You know what I'm saying?
D tackle can't be low on your list of needs because there's no way D tackle could be low on your list of needs. That's impossible.
Well, pardon me. List of draft needs. Because I only got what? I think we got 6 picks this year. Did we got 7?
Yeah, we got 7. Yeah, we got 7.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I kind of want to use as many of those picks as possible on the secondary. I fear what is going to happen at the end of this upcoming season because
I hate it.
Why?
I hate it.
Hey man, the lack of cornerback depth that we're going to have after 2020 scares me. I want to fill as many of those holes as possible.
The only D tackles you have on your roster is Tristan Hill and Antoine Woods. That don't bother you? That don't shake your soul? That don't plague your mind?
It bothers me, but I think that there's a lot of older guys out there as of right now.
Why don't you get the old cornerbacks, man? What the hell wrong with you? Get the old corners. Get the old nickel corners. Get the old strong safeties. Run them out there. Huh?
I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
But are we going to be able to pay them all?
Tristan Hill and Antoine Woods are your 2 defensive tackles on the roster, sir. And granted, this would be a much smoother conversation after free agency, so I will give you that.
Yeah.
And I do believe that there should be some priority in our secondary. But we just ain't finna act like our defensive tackles is good to go. Because they ain't. And I like Tristan and Antoine, but we need 8 of them. Here we got 2.
I can't say that I like Tristan yet. He has done nothing to show me that I'm comfortable with him yet.
Well,
but that takes time.
Well, he was the 58th overall pick. Anybody you draft at 58 is gonna have problems in their first year, but we'll see what happens. You're right. We'll see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, for one thing, he didn't get consistent play time, and then 2, he's going into a second year, so
sure,
he still got plenty of leeway to show me.
Sure.
But I will say that currently the secondary depth scares me because more so than the D tackle depth, because a lot of our secondary guys that are going to be leaving soon are like those homegrown type of guys.
I'll tell you
our
what.
Secondary was kind of patchwork from the beginning.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, not our secondary, our interior D-line.
If you walk into a game with Cheeto and Jordan Lewis at corner, it won't kill you, because we know both those guys can start. It won't be elite like you want, but it won't kill you. I think our D-line is in a situation where we ain't ready to play day one. You know what I mean? Day one, we ain't ready. If we run out, if the 2 safeties that we run out is Xavier Woods and Donovan Wilson, you may not feel comfortable about it, but you can at least run them out there. We ain't even got the bodies at defensive tackle to run out there. That's my only logic. That's the only thing I'm saying. Linebacker ain't got depth, but at least you got starters you can run out there. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So in the secondary, the linebackers or whatever, you're looking for depth at those spots. You're looking for starters at D tackle. That's my only logic.
So are you going D tackle at 17?
If it's one there. If it's one there, I hope it's taken care of in free agency. If not, I hope one get there. If not, we just got to take the other best player and just go from there. Pray to God you don't drop that shit.
Man, me and my girl was just watching Dave Chappelle like a week ago, bro.
It's fantastic.
We marathon all 3 seasons.
Fantastic. It's classical. But yeah, man. But I mean, I like what you're saying. We do need secondary help, but our D line is kind of in shambles at the moment. We will have this conversation again like late March, and it'll be a totally different conversation. But
of course,
just currently where we at.
Yeah. anybody in particular, because the combine's coming up soon, that you are looking to really have a show-out performance to aid the Cowboys at 17, like some guys that can maybe jump up and help get us where we need to be to get the right guy.
You need Jordan Love, quarterback from Utah State, to throw real good. You need Josh Jones to go out there and be very athletic so he can go top 16. Hell, if teams feel good about Austin Jackson, because Austin Jackson is another tackle that's athletic, that ain't good, but he's athletic. So Austin Jackson, tackle from USC, you would like for him to go out there and be talented enough to get some eyes on him. Of course, you need Henry Ruggs to run a 4.2, but hey, if Jalen Reagor runs a 4.2 and some team makes a mistake drafting him top 16, let him fly. Patrick Queen, just something in my bones. Patrick Queen, even Murray from Oklahoma, right? You want the second linebacker to come off the board to be top 16 as well. So either of those guys, man. I would like for Xavier McKinney to get drafted way before Dallas gets on the clock. That's just my thoughts, but you know.
Mm-hmm. Now this is just me.
Sure.
I disagree with you and Foots fundamentally on this one.
Okay.
I don't want a wide receiver at all on 17.
I mean, me neither.
I want.
but go ahead.
I mean, but think if Jerry, you by your own words, if Jerry Jeudy is available at 17, that changes the whole conversation. I don't want Jeudy, Lamb, Ruggs, Chenault.
There were plenty variables in place when I said that. So of course I'm not looking at receiver at all. But if Cowboys have a fantastic free agency and everything on defense is sold up and we ain't, like, damn, we went and got a 3-tech that can play. Boy, we got a good little rotation of 1-techs. We signed Byron and shit, and everybody else good, and the big numbers is taken care of, and we got a veteran free safety to go. And yeah, then I would draft a receiver if I ain't got nothing else to do. If a receiver's the best player on the board, I'll take a receiver if everything else is straight.
That's hard for me. I'm opposed to maybe tight end, and that's a hard maybe. I'm opposed to taking any offense in this draft, honestly, because I feel like the defensive needs are so great because it's really an exodus of guys coming up on that side of the ball.
And that's why the only caveat was if offense is intact.
If free agency goes right.
If defense goes extraordinarily well in free agency, then I would consider drafting some offense.
I feel you.
Because look, there's another conversation to be had here, and for everybody listening, this ain't just Cowboys talk. This could be across the board here. You gotta think about this when you drafting. You gotta think about, are these players that's gonna help you day one, or are they guys that's gonna have to develop, or are they gonna play some kind of role in your team? You can get a player that you feel real good about that ain't gonna play year one. You know what I mean? So
not in the first round.
Absolutely.
I'm not comfortable with that at all in the first round.
It happens. But you know what? I just think that means your team is really good. I love that. I love when a team drafts rookies, but the rookies can't get on the field. That means you did really well with your roster building. That means your team is in good shape already. You know what I mean? If you drafting Pat Mahomes, cool. Sit him behind Alex Smith because Alex Smith can play for you. That don't mean it's a bad pick. It just means he's a developmental pick, and you wasn't doing terribly at quarterback. I love picks like that.
Or they could be Taco Charlton.
Hey man, shit happens. What you want me to say? We ain't perfect.
But I mean, yeah, you're right. They struck every single time they got to go to Vegas make some money.
Hey man,
but,
what you want me to say, man? Come on, son. What you want me to say, man? But go ahead.
You're right.
But go ahead though.
What would it take then? Like, what would be the perfect storm for you to trade back and try to get as many picks as possible in the second round or early third round? What would it take?
See, I don't want to trade back. I want to get the best player I could possibly get at 17. Because last year we didn't have a first round pick at all, and that shit made me sick. So I want to get the best player. So it sucked. So I want to get the best player I could possibly get. And if that best player happened to be Jerry Jeudy, that's a hell of a fuck. You know how cold your offense would be if Jerry Jeudy and Amari Cooper are rotating the slot? You know how cold that'll be? Randall Cobb being the H guy or the H receiver.
So you just want to score 40 every week and just win by that?
I would like for my defense to be great first, because my only caveat. Don't forget that. Don't forget, my defense got to be great for me to draft Jerry Jeudy. But assuming that my defense is great, fuck yeah, let's drop 40. Catch us. God damn it. Catch us.
I mean, that's how the Chiefs went for the first 10 weeks of the season.
Hey, man,
Look at them.
I don't know. But they got it done on defense. And they got it done on defense. So
Eventually.
Hey, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Don't you have to trade up for Delpit? No. Imagine having the route runner of Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy together. Hey, Michael Gallup is also a fantastic route runner. I think Dallas got all good route runners at receiver. That seemed to be their new their new trend that they going into. So don't forget that, man. Don't forget that. What else you got, Brandon?
I think that's all I got for you today, sir.
Hey, man, this is Frankly Football on YouTube, Frankly Football Podcast. He's getting his content together. We're going to make him great, and we're going to see what happens. Appreciate it, man.
Peace.
Yeah. As a non-Cowboy guy, just curious. What player falls out of the first? Oh, wait. Y'all going to pay Dak as a that's a very Voch. That's a Cleo Lombardi Vostradamus question. Are we gonna pay Dak? But I do think they're gonna pay Dak. AJ, what's up?
What's up, my dude?
Everything's everything, my guy. Doski Woski. What you got for the show tonight, sir?
Well, I gotta say thanks for suffering all the goofiness that is the pre-free agency mock drafts.
I do it for my audience because somebody has to. I'm taking all those lumps, man. Jay-Z said Hove did that.
You got to massage them up and keep them ready.
Hove did that, so hopefully you ain't got to go through that. You know what I mean? Jay-Z said that. But anyway, what'd you think about him, bro?
Oh, I mean, it's all pre-free agency and stuff, and
yeah.
I have a little bit different kind of look and stuff on it too, you know, because I know you don't like the combine and stuff. I don't necessarily like it either because, you know, it's a bunch of people running around in gym shorts, and that's not how we play football around here.
There you go.
But there are some things that you get, you know, because it's like, what's the big question on one of the prospects, you know, about Javon Kinlaw? It's like, what's everybody asking? Like, what's that question mark?
Sure.
It's about his knees.
Yeah. We shouldn't.
When do we get to find out about his knees? Well, it's at the combine. That's where everybody do the medical checks.
We shouldn't use the combine to answer the big questions, but in terms of medicals, you're absolutely right. Like, can these cornerbacks turn? Sure. Receivers running the gauntlet is fun. And look, combine also does this. Like, we know that Henry Ruggs is fast, and we know Jalen Reagor is fast. We kind of get to learn who's better, who's faster. We learn who runs faster. But the film will answer every question that you ultimately have about a player.
Yeah, exactly right. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Combine's also useful for another thing. It's like, it's one thing, you know, Mike Mayock used to say this all the time. It's basically kind of one of those things, like, I guess you might say it's where you go get your eyes checked. You know, you close, you stand at the line, close one eye, and then read the alphabet. It's like, what did you see on tape?
Yeah.
And does it make sense what you're seeing right now?
Yeah. AJ, I feel you,
Mayock
man.
would go up there and be like, I think he'll run a 4.5. Dude runs like a 4.5, and it's just like, how did he predict that? It's like, he watches film. That's how.
I feel you, but if we could have. And just deal with me for a second, AJ. Just deal with my ignorance for a second. I would cancel the combine if we can have a junior versus senior bowl where they like do the practice and the one-on-ones and the pads and all that, and then they have a game at the end of the week. If we could have that, let me slam my notepad on the table, AJ. If we can have a junior versus senior bowl where they line up in pads and go against each other, and we really get to see what Chase Young versus damn Jedrick Wills looks like. Come on, son. Well, they both juniors, so that'll be like, you understand what I'm saying, though. We'll see it at practice.
I understand. I've been saying this for years. Like, where do we get to? Why can't we see some of these juniors and stuff line up? It's like, where's the junior senior bowl?
Oh my God, man! Junior versus senior bowl would be so ridiculous as an evaluation tool, but football don't want to be great, so Football want to be mediocre their whole life. But go ahead.
Yeah. And and just one more thing on the combine, that's also where you find out some things in the past, kind of like I think that's where Randy Gregory came up with the wild parsley.
Yeah, that good old weed in the locker, gun under the seat guy always gets revealed.
Yep. Yep. And combine's one of those first places. So I mean, yeah, combine, Matt. What? Sorry, I keep talking about combine and stuff, but probably one of the only things that I actually like to watch the combine for is I actually like to see how wide receivers catch the ball.
Sure.
Because truth be told, I'll tell you the truth, is that I was watching the combine last year, and I saw A.J. Brown catching the ball. I was like, damn, that ball looks like it falls into a pillow when it hits his hands and stuff. Yeah. And then look what he did in the NFL draft. Hands catching the ball is the first thing a receiver needs to do. So I mean, there are things you can't evaluate, but yes, you got to go by the film because the film.
And you know what?
That's against competition, and that's the important thing.
That's a great point by you. On that note, you just made a great point. Think about DK Metcalf, right? Like, first of all, nobody should be drafted because of what they can't do. They should be drafted by what they can do, So when we watch film on these players or whatever, they get in these systems, these offense coordinators, they pretty much do what they're good at, and that's really what you go off of. But if you watch the Ole Miss film, DK Metcalf ran 9 routes and he ran slants and he ran hitches and he got the ball quick and he yacked people. But when he got to the combine, he couldn't turn. So people thought that you shouldn't draft DK Metcalf because he couldn't turn. But y'all go watch my DK Metcalf video right now. I'm saying, hey, look, just run slants with him. Just run slants and 9 routes. And that's what Seattle did. Now, does that mean that DK Metcalf should be a first-round pick? No, he should not. But he's pretty damn good when he's running slants and 9 routes, man. So I think, combine is also good for that. Like, we know he's good, but what can we and what can we not do with him? So that's another good point. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Let me just get your thing on a few positions and stuff, because it's like I don't necessarily like watch as much film. I don't watch near as much film as you do and stuff. But I definitely want to get into doing more of that and stuff because I like to be able to talk to X's and O's of football and stuff. I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. But the most important thing, let's just stick it to wide receivers and let's say defensive line for a second. So. The most important thing, I think, in the way that I would grade a wide receiver would be you basically do it kind of like, like a semester, like it's like this is 40% of the grade, this is 30% of the grade, 20% of the grade, whatever like that. And I think that the biggest part of that grade, the majority of that grade's got to be the hands. Like you got to be able to catch that ball. It's like I got no use for a wide receiver that can run a 4.2 but can't catch.
Sure.
And then I think that your ability to get open, so your route running, it's like, can you get open? That's like number 2. So hands first, and then, route running number 2, and then your yak and all that stuff, and how physical you are, comes number 3. The rest of that's just like, I don't need a fast guy. If he can catch, get open, and get some yak, I can use that guy all day. I don't care how fast he is.
Hey man, this is a game about traits, man. This is a game about traits. If you're a wide receiver, your first job is to get open and then catch the football. So of course you got to be able to get open and catch the football. So I have no problem with what you're saying.
And then as far as defensive line, so I know that you do a lot because you played offensive line and stuff. So you like those trenches and stuff.
Sure.
So I know that's kind of one of your things, but. I mean, this is just me. I know you like super bendy guy, get around the corner and bend and quick off the line.
Yeah.
But me personally, I kind of like those guys, that are hand fighters and stuff. Because if I remember correctly, Joey Bosa, when he came out, he wasn't like super bendy, super quick, twitchy guy, but he was one of the best hand fighters that people had seen in a long time. And then he came in and like he didn't necessarily blow up the whole league, but he was pretty damn good for a rookie.
Well. In this draft, there's a lot of power rushers, and the last few years, I had no respect for power rush because you're absolutely right. I love my bendy guys. I like ball get off. I like twitch. I like all that. But I've had to learn over time that there's multiple ways to get things done. You know what I mean? So I'm still growing as a talent evaluator. So I'm having to look at these power rushers now, and I have to respect their craft or whatever. And part of that was me being a Cowboys fan and watching film on D-Law every damn week. D-Law ain't beating people with speed. He's coming off the ball. He's trapping a wrist. He's jabbing, creating space, and he's getting skinny and flipping. You know what I mean? He ain't being fast. He's just manipulating limbs, you know what I mean? So I had to learn to grow as an evaluator there. So sure, AJ Epinesa and Yatur Gross Matos, they're the power rushers of this class or whatever. I'm having to learn to respect them in order to, realize how good they are or whatever. So you're right.
And I'm not saying AJ Epinesa is going to be a Joey Bosa or anything like that. I mean,
Sure.
that's just kind of ludicrous to
Sure.
make those kind of predictions and stuff, or those kind of parallels.
Sure.
But, I mean, the way I see it is that you can be really super quick, twitchy, and, all that stuff, but when you come up against a guy like Tyron Smith, you might need to develop some kind of way to keep his hands off you.
Sure.
Kind of thing.
Sure. Some
Or,
kind of backup
have
plan.
a spin move, or some kind of arsenal. Some kind of array of weaponry that you can pull out to try and get around the dude.
Absolutely. You're right. And we call that we call that rushing with a plan. You know what I mean? Like, you should have some kind of plan. Whether you're a twitchy guy or whether you're a power guy. Like, if your first move don't work, now what? so absolutely, big facts. That's all you got.
Those are the guys that seem to do the best that come into the league. The guys that aren't just like the one trick pony. Although, when you got a guy with a really good get off and stuff,
the best,
they can tear up the league pretty quick. And then eventually over time they got to build the rest of those traits. But those are the guys they're going to come in and do a lot of damage right away, because it's just like you say, it's hard to measure and prepare for a guy that's just quick, twitchy, and can get around you.
The best guys are the guys that come into the league with natural ability, but then they learn technique later. That's why Von Miller is considered one of those guys. Like, at Texas A&M, he was all ball get off. Like, he was first step, defeat the outside hand quarterback. That was his big thing. But he really became an assassin when he learned how to chain moves together and how to set up tackles and how to get back inside and use leverage and all that. So you're absolutely right there.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I think DeMarcus Ware was like that too. He was a super quick guy, get off the edge and stuff. But then as his career progressed, he became big hand fighter guy, and that's when he started getting those 20, 18 in a year sack years and stuff.
100%, Mr. Wolf. You ain't told a lie yet. Hey, man, fantastic call, though. Appreciate you. Call in Tuesday. We're going to be talking about cornerbacks.
All right, sweet.
Yes, sir.
Look forward to it.
Yes, sir. Before we end this show, great calls, by the way, y'all. Before we end this show, I just want to cuss a handful of people out that I saw on Twitter. Just give me a second, man. Just give me a second. Hey, dog, chat box, don't ask me about no damn Snacks Harrison, man. Please, chat box, don't ask me about no damn snacks, please. Like, I don't understand the brand of Cowboy fan that don't want to sign the good players that's on your team already, the good young players that's on your team already, but y'all want to go sign the old, washed up names that's getting cut from other teams. That the team they just got cut from don't want. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. We don't want to pay our own damn people. Even the cheap people on our team, we don't want to pay them. And when I say we, I mean y'all goofy. I don't mean everybody. Don't ask me about Snacks Harrison, man. don't ask me about. I don't want to hear it. Everson Griffin is 32. Please. Could you imagine if Dallas gets Phillips and Everson Griffin? No! Why we gonna play Everson Griffin at? Could you imagine if Dallas gets Phillips? Who is Phillips? Phillips and Everson Griffin in free agency. Then I don't give a fuck about what you do. Trade against it. Now, hey, Starboy 50. I will say this though. I'm not agreeing with you with the 32-year-old defensive end or whatever. But something I will say is if our team is loaded and we have a really good free agency, if our free agency is really fantastic to where we've covered all the needs, then you could talk me into trading up to getting a gangster. You could talk me into that. I would leave all these picks alone. And go up and get a gangster if our free agent needs are taken care of. Appreciate the 5 in the super chat though. I appreciate you. But yeah, man, I'm not here for the Snacks Harrison conversation. And sure, we'll probably sign Robert Quinn before we get Everson Griff. Jordan Phillips, he's a free agent. I didn't know Jordan Phillips was a free agent. So hey, I don't know. I don't know. I'm good on that. He'll retire soon anyway. Was debating at this. Yeah, I don't want nobody that's on I don't want a fringe retirement player. I don't want that. Griffin jumped out of an ambulance when he went crazy. He went crazy? I didn't know Griffin went crazy. He jumped out of an ambulance? What has happened? Would you pull a trigger on a honey badger trade? No, I just drafted safety. No. I'll take a look at free agency. So how about that? Next one of these streams or whatever, it probably like Monday or something. On a Monday stream, maybe we'll take a look at free agency. Right? When does free agency start? Like March or something. So we'll talk about some of the best free agent guys. Like that'll be something that we'll do. But man, do remember Charles Haley was crazy. This is 2020. This is 2020. Oh man, come on, son. Gotta deal with crazy people no more, man. Will the Browns win a Super? All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead. Will the Browns win a Super Bowl? Hey, man, y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski, man. This show was fun. We made fun of some mock drafts. We did some good work here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Every time y'all tune in, it makes me better. I'm about to go. Did I drop film today? Who I dropped today? Did I drop film? I dropped Worse. No, not Wills. I dropped Jedrick Wills today. So y'all go watch my Jedrick Wills film session. I'm not going to drop a film session tomorrow. I think I deserve a Friday off. Appreciate y'all on that. And we'll get back into the film next week. I think the next film session will be like Epinesa or something. I might drop him Saturday. We'll do Epinesa on Saturday, Gross Matos on Sunday. Maybe. I ain't promising nothing, but I think I'm done with offensive line for a second. We're going to do those 2 edge rushers, and then we're going to do some receivers. So y'all stay tuned for that. All right. Snacks Harrison film session. No. If Snacks Harrison goes to the Cowboys, I'll probably look at him, but I ain't going to do a video. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Wilson Peasky Whiskey, man. Until next time. Salute.